We're back with Bobby and JG Radio. Our show today is entitled Building Your Rental Portfolio. Our first guest is Nathan Crone. He's a broker, general manager of New Western Acquisitions. Nathan has an awesome office right downtown. Through his company, he's purchased over 300 properties in the past year. And in his shop, it's a one-stop shop where they can help you. They acquire properties, they help you finance the properties, they help you renovate the properties, and they help you sell the properties. Nathan, let's talk about how your team can help an investor build their rental portfolio.
Absolutely, JJ. So we're basically a one-stop shop for real estate investors. We focus on 4 different aspects of the investment. First and foremost, we locate the discount distressed piece of real estate for you. We go down a lot of different avenues on finding these. Currently, 80% of our opportunities for investors are all off-market.
Sure.
What I mean by that is that they're not on the multiple listing service, and we spend a lot of marketing dollars going out and trying to obtain these and then just turn around and put these in the hands of local investors here in town.
Let's talk about real quick how big that is, because without that, there's no investment. I think a lot of first-time investors or even seasoned investors, when they kind of were investing when the market had gone down, they thought it was kind of easy to pick up good deals, but that's probably the hardest part of everything, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Have you ever heard that you make money when you buy?
Yeah.
When it comes to the real estate investment, you make money when you buy, not when you sell.
Right.
And I think that's something important to remember.
Sure.
Because if you buy the property right, you can run into those little kinks throughout the way and still come out smelling good on the other end.
Yeah,
so,
which is the hardest part.
Yeah,
right?
Which is hard. So that's really how we bring value to ourselves as a company, as New Western, is going out and finding those off-market ones. And if you don't have a relationship with us, then you're simply not going to know about these opportunities.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing I think for investors, and what they need to know is why your entire organization is so special, because it's a full-time job, right? I mean, it's beyond a full-time job to go find a good deal. I know some people, sometimes they just come up on stuff because of their family, and there's everyone gets lucky every once in a while, but to do it consistently, I think, is what you guys have really shown as a company, because it's a proven market, or it's a proven system that you guys have kind of acquired from another place, right? Tell me a little bit about the company itself. Yeah,
we're headquartered out of Dallas. We have 8 different locations. We're really heavy in Texas, so we're in Houston, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Dallas. We're also in Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Los Angeles as well.
Awesome.
So we're expanding rapidly, and we continue to have plans to do that as well.
That's great.
So, Nathan, you talked about how you find these properties. How are these buyers purchasing these properties? Are you guys financing them? Are they paying cash? Do they have options?
They do have options, yeah. Those are the 2 options, really, Bobby. Cash or some type of private funds when they're coming into our shop. And
sure.
We do provide Sherman Bridge Lending is our sister company, and we do provide special financing,
sure, depending
on what your strategy is. We have a landlord program currently that I just cannot find better money anywhere. I'm not going to quote rates right now. If somebody wants to talk more about it, they can come in for a consultation with me. But essentially what it is, it's called a bridge to perm loan. And that's when they start off in a short-term construction loan,
okay,
and then it automatically gets refinanced after day 91 into a long-term 30 years, 6%, whatever it is,
yeah,
so you can see the cash flow on that.
So I'm a landlord, right? I have some investment properties. Walk me through, if I come to you and I have an older investment home that I've had for a very long time, it's kind of fallen apart, that brings a lot of pressure as a landlord, because, if the house isn't up to par, right, what'll happen is, you're going to get worse tenants, you're going to get less rent, it's going to be a constant headache, you're always replacing this and that and this. You bleed if it's vacant, so you can't just go in there and redo it all usually, so you have this time where you don't know what to do with the property, and that's where you really come in with this type of finance that you're talking about, right?
No, the financing that I'm talking about is actually right out of the gate. It's for somebody that wants to initially purchase their first investment.
And if it's so if they find a dilapidated property, That's the financing. That you're talking about.
Yes, this is for distressed property. Sorry,
Straight
I didn't
up.
say that
That's
earlier.
okay.
So if you come across a property and it's in top condition and you think that's going to be a good rental for you,
Right.
you have a lot of different avenues. You can use traditional financing for that. But
Sure.
when it's distressed is the kicker, because that's when it's not going to qualify for traditional bank financing.
Right.
And they need somebody like me to come in with the private funds in order to purchase it and get through that project.
Let's talk about some of the things that why it wouldn't qualify for the conventional or FHA
Sure.
or VA loans. Like what?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, especially in San Antonio, is foundation.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. So a lot of people are scared of foundation. We have some investors coming in saying, "Hey, Nathan, I'm looking for this, but I don't want anything that needs a little bit foundation work." And that's just the wrong attitude to have in this town. What you really need to do is get some foundation companies that you trust. This is something that we can help out with as well.
Right.
They're on your side. It's not really a big deal at all to shim a property up or to level it out. You just have to make sure that it's in your budget and it doesn't throw your numbers out of whack
Sure.
right
Nathan,
away.
what are some of these qualifications for a landlord to be able to qualify for this loan?
Well, we are a credit-based lender, so we do pull credit. We do care about your credit score. A lot of people or some other people might be asset-based, where they just look at the property, the investment, and look at you as your cash reserves. But we do pull credit because what we do is we qualify them for a refinance. And if they qualify for a refinance, then we give them the hard money up front.
Right.
If they don't qualify for the refinance, then we simply don't lend them the private funds. They're going to have to go to an outside source for that.
If you're just tuning in, we're speaking with Nathan Crone with New Western Acquisitions, and he's going to, later on in this broadcast, let us know how he's going to save you $395 on a broker's fee. We're talking about different financing tips and how to get properties, what's the best way to start, or even for seasoned investors, what's the best way to continue your portfolio and how to build it up. Tell me about a time when you've helped out an investor.
We like stories
time,
here
a
about
first-time
JJ Radio,
investor.
so we want to hear a good story.
Yeah.
I got a lot of them. I mean, we help. We're for full-time guys. We're also really great for part-time guys. We say that we cater towards the part-time investor. What we mean by that is we cater towards the individual that has a full-time job, that
Sure.
doesn't have time to look at 50 houses to find that one house that makes sense for them as a rental property. So, I mean, I have a lot of examples I can throw out. One of our investors, his name's Mauricio, and we've just turned this guy around. Now, the big difference with him is that he started with a pretty large chunk of change. So you can really build a rental portfolio pretty
Right.
quick if you have a lot of cash reserves on hand. It's not something that needs to be done quick, though. This is something that's going to take – it's important to get started early, but it's just going to take some time. You're not going to have a big portfolio overnight. So
I'm glad that you bring that up because, I've never believed in the flip. I've always believed in the long term because, it's people feel like real estate is just like a stock. Like, you mess with stocks, that's a different type of asset, right? Real estate is going to be, it's a long haul, it's the marathon. And, starting younger obviously helps. Starting with a good amount of cash up front helps. But either way, you guys can help them out.
yeah, JJ, so you can look at it like this. The difference between a buy, fix, sell and a buy, fix, rent. A buy, fix, sell is basically where you work for 90 days or 120 days and earn X amount of dollars. That's
Right.
kind of like your traditional job.
Sure.
Where a rental property, a buy, fix, rent, that's where you truly invest your money and have your money working for you. You're not working for your money at that point. So
Sure.
that's a major point that we try to get across to a lot of people coming in that may have just heard about investing but
Sure.
not have their strategy down pat yet.
Dive a little bit more into that. So not working for you, making your money work for you. So let's talk about an example that you've helped out an investor that in that case.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of variables that come into play
Sure.
when you're determining what your best strategy is. I
Right.
mean, I'm not for me. I'm building a rental portfolio right now in San Antonio. It's what works best in my life at this time right now. But buy, fix, sell, somebody that may need a little cash or they need to get their debt to income back into a good ratio, they might want to do a buy, fix, sell before coming in and buying another rental property. So I can't say that it's the best strategy for
Sure.
everybody, but it's definitely the best strategy for me right now. And I understand the concept of having my money work for me and not working for the money.
Can you talk a little bit about the process of finding a home and closing on a home, maybe a timeline of everything that goes into play?
Yeah, so it's actually I think it's an easy process. We talked about earlier how you make money in the buy. So that's you really have to make sure that you purchase the right property at the right price. But other than that, what we do is we sit down the investor with an initial consultation, and we go over that game plan with them and make sure that there's clear expectations as far as their return on an investment, what type of equity position they're going to be in, what type of cash flow they can expect. And if there's not a fit for us, then, we let them know that there's not a fit. We don't think we can help them out. They can go down a different avenue. But majority of the time, if their expectations are in line,
sure,
then it can be a pretty fast process. We keep people updated on a distribution list. They come in, they purchase. They can reach out to us for vendors to get the rehab done, and then we can help them find a tenant as well.
Just talk about some of those real quick, some of those crazy expectations. That
some of these people think they can make, a ton of money on one transaction.
Yeah. We have some people come in that watch flip this house on Saturday, and they're in on Monday, ready to make $80,000 on a $20,000 investment. So, it's really all relative. If you want to make $100,000 on a flip, then man, you got to go to Alamo Heights, or you got to put the money out there.
You're spending $1 million.
Yeah, or
close
to it. You're spending a lot. Yeah. But it's all relative. What I suggest, if you're new to the game, start out with a small investment. There's no need to get over your head or extend yourself financially. Start off small and then just build up and keep building it.
Yeah. So anyone that is listening right now, I know that you're going to give something to all of our listeners that listen right now to Bobby and JJ Radio, either on YouTube or SoundCloud or however. What are you giving away for these potential investors?
So the most important thing is I'm giving away a free consultation.
Yeah.
I want people to come down to my office, meet me or one of my associates or both of us, and come up with a game plan on how we can structure your future from there.
Awesome.
On top of that, we're going to give away a $395 brokerage charge that we typically charge. Yeah, we're going to waive that for any clients that hear through us through Bobby and JJ Radio.
Awesome. So we'll be right back to talk a little bit more with Nathan Crone. If you want to get a hold of him, you go to www.newwestern.com, or you can get a hold of him personally at 214-770-5441. We'll be right back with Bobby and JJ Radio.